Hello everyone and welcome back to another lesson on Microsoft Excel. In this lesson, we're going to go over how you can handle errors in calculations on Microsoft Excel. So let's go to Microsoft Excel and take a look how we can solve this problem. So we are back on Microsoft Excel and you can see that I still have the same chart from our last lesson, but if you take a look here in the right side, I have two errors right over here, right? So basically, when you are handling long databases and errors, you can see that there are some errors that go unnoticed. But if you pass it on, then it might give you some trouble in the future as well. Now, to fix these errors, there are some tools available on Microsoft Excel. Now, if you go over to formulas in the ribbon formulas, you would notice that there is a compartment here which says formula auditing. Now from here, you can actually go over and check your errors and you can even fix them. Now from here, the first one says trace precedence. Now this actually names out which error have you occurred here. So if I go over this one, like this error right over here, it says name. Now take a look. If I double click it, it says average, right? So I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to use this one. And if I double click on it, you can see that I have some formula added into this cell. But you can notice that the formula is kind of not aligned, or it's a bit incorrect. Like it should be only sum, but I listed as sum x. Okay, so if I press enter, the error would be like this, okay? Name and a question mark. Now, if you want to let's say no, if I double click it again, you can see that this cell, it represents these two, which is G6 and H6, right? Because these two cells have been selected and they are in summation. Alright, so from here, you might not able to know which one would be available, right? Which formula is added into this unless you double click on it. Or if you don't double click on it, you don't know which cell these belongs to. So to do that, you can actually use this trace precedence option or function. You can just simply click on it. And firstly, you need to designate where you want to click on it, okay? So if I go ahead and click on trace precedence, then this will happen. This arrow will appear and you can see that this arrow is indicating that this cell is representing these two cells over here, right? So it brings up an arrow, and if you want to remove this arrow, you can just simply click on remove arrows from over here and it will be removed. Now the same thing goes for this option right over here. If I click on it, you can see that it says the trace dependence command found no formulas that refer to the active cell. Okay, so basically this is the opposite of trace precedence. All right, now there's another option here where if you click on it, it will show all the formulas that are available on this page or worksheet. If I click on it, now you can see that it has been expanded. Our workbook has been expanded, and now every single formula that we added, you can see average and then min and max. Every single formula, also the summation formula, have been elaborated, and now they are showing the formulas that we added. Alright, now if I click back on it, you can see it goes back to normal. But this is a really neat function where you can actually view all the formulas that you created or you applied, and you would be able to easily fix these formulas just by clicking like this, and you would know that which is which. Okay, now there is another way you can check your errors is by checking on this function right over here, which is called error checking. Now this is a pretty straightforward function where you just click on it, and here you can see that error in cell M5, they're referencing that this cell, it has an error. Okay, so for instance, if I just go here, you can see here it says help on this error, show calculation steps, ignore error. So if I click on help on error, you can see that it is loading, and now it will go online to look for a formula or solution. So we're not going to go over there. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to click this one, and I'm just going to fix this error just by deleting this X. And now if I press enter, you can see that the value is available. Now if I go over to error checking, you can see that there is another error here in cell G17. Alright, so if I take a look at G17, you can see that there is this error right over here. They're referencing that this has an error. So I just don't need to do anything about it, so I'm just going to close it. Alright, so that is basically how you can actually bring out errors and find out errors and handle them pretty easily. Okay, so I hope this was helpful for you guys. I hope you learned something, and if you have any problem, you can contact us. We're always here to help you guys. And with this, I'm going to end this lesson right over here, and I'm going to see you guys in another lesson.